You might notice that this post today is in a slightly different format to usual, and that is absolutely intentional. And what I'd like to do today is to talk you through something that I've been doing over the last couple of weeks or so, in the hope that it might be useful to somebody else as well. So I'm going through a process at the moment where I'm redefining all of the copy for my company website, which is not something that typically comes very easily to me. And I find it quite difficult to get the thoughts that I have in my head down on paper. It's that really tricky starting point, isn't it? Where you've got a blank piece of paper, but you're so stuck on finding that precise wording or the weighting of the phrases that you get hung up on that rather than actually getting the message forward. And I was having a conversation with a colleague on a similar subject recently, where he was actually putting together a proposal and again struggling to convey the messages that he knew he could get across, but just couldn't find the right way to describe it. And at the time, I suggested to him that he maybe thought about how he would do this if he was approaching it as part of his work. And with interviews that we do, we very often record these. So we might just have an audio recording, or it might actually be a video recording, of course with people's permission. But what this allows us to do is to have a much more natural and fluid conversation without having to worry about getting your head down and capturing everything that was said in just the way that it was said. And it also really helps when you're trying to refer back to the specific key phrases that somebody has actually told you. And I suggested to him at the time that he maybe consider doing something the same. And what I talked about was maybe going through a process of writing down the key questions that you would want answered by that copy or by that proposal, and actually asking yourself them or getting somebody else to ask them, and recording that conversation so that you could talk about it in a way that felt much more natural to you rather than trying to obsess over the wording and writing it down on the screen or on paper. So I've been trying this over the last couple of weeks, and I found that it really, really helps. So I thought that I would put together this video, and from this I will write a blog post, obviously based around what I've said. And hopefully this might help somebody else who, like me, doesn't find copywriting very easy and wants to get some tips over how they can make it more natural somehow.